DMA, Direct Market Access. When an average user connected to HTS to purchase or to sell stocks, the transaction had to go through the financial company's main system. The company would then request confirmation from Koscom, which was a Korean financial IT company launched by the Ministry of Finance. This meant a transaction had to go through both the financial company and Koscom. However, if an individual could connect to Koscom directly, or decrease the processing time at the financial company, the trader could buy and sell stocks faster. It was a difference of 0.001 second, but it could make all the difference in the stock market. In 2011, some financial companies sold their assigned DMA to individual traders. There was a lawsuit, but they were found to be not guilty. In other countries, paying for an individual DMA was common but not in Korea. In the world of stock trading, time was money. Yes. If you give me one of Nuri Finance's DMA, I will tell you what you wanted to know at the seminar. Shin Semi glanced at Na Jae-man. Woosung then broke the brief silence by continuing his own proposal. Of course, if necessary, I will pay a user fee. In Korea, DMA was not something an individual could purchase, but it was not illegal to own a DMA. After a few seconds of thinking, Na Jae-man nodded. Shin Semi finally answered. All right. Let's get the contract ready. They called the legal team to process the said contract as soon as possible. It was an easy one to write. After approving it, Woosung told Shin Semi. You should read the report by Kim Mansu from Finance Research Lab on subprime mortgage. It was released in March of 2007. Shin Semi glanced at Na Jae-man, who immediately started to make a call. Then I will get going. That's it. I already gave you 2 hints. I majored in computer science. You weren't expecting me to give you an outright answer, did you? Shin Semi gritted her teeth again but suddenly murmured. Subprime mortgage crisis, and risk management. Financial crisis. It was coming, but Woosung couldn't say the word. I have analyzed the data and it's clear that MBS is downgrading. Based on the current trend, CDO will downgrade as well. This is all I can tell you. MBS, mortgage-backed securities. CDO, collateralized debt obligation. They were 2 of the main causes of the financial crisis. Shin Semi listened carefully, but Woosung already felt like he did his part. I would like to receive the DMA via Kwak Jungwook. Woosung walked out. She just wanted to test me. I doubt she'll take my advice. He was a computer science major. It was likely she would listen to the words of in-house financial advisors rather than to him. It was common sense. It didn't matter. Woosung felt ecstatic about his DMA. I can now use the DMA and algorithmic trading system during the financial crisis. After Woosung left the room, the secretary hurried to hand in the report. This is the report by Kim Mansu. Shin Semi started to read through the report, giving every word a careful consideration. Na Jae-man remained silent as he watched her. She then thought slowly. I already know what happened. There is nothing new here. She already knew well about the subprime mortgage crisis. She couldn't find any new information on the report. Is he thinking about daytime trading by himself using the DMA? There is something about him, it's clear that he knows more than he's saying. Ma'am, that report was already examined by us last year. Did you find anything new? Na Jae-man asked as soon as she put down the report. She shook her head. Na Jae-man asked again with caution. It sounded like he was giving us some kind of a warning. I don't want to be rude, but he completed a computer science program from a small university called Songwon. The best he could be is a good programmer. I can't trust anything he claims about the financial world. Shin Semi had already decided. Na Jae-man wanted to disagree, but it was not his place. When someone becomes an expert in one field, he becomes knowledgeable in other fields as well. However, he didn't say it out loud. Shin Semi murmured quietly. I will let the finance research lab know of what he said anyway. Now, I need you to find a way to scout him. Of course. Sooner the better. Okay. Na J-Man sighed. Based on what he heard today, it didn't sound like Woosung was not interested in whatever job offer they give. When he returned to his office, Kwok Jung-wook was waiting. He asked Woosung to speak with him for a few minutes. Woosung had to finish his work on development process improvement project. He had so much work left to do, but Kwok Jung-wook insisted on talking to him in private. He took Woosung outside. I will be direct. Woosung sat down as he listened to the man with his arms crossed. I would like to offer you a job. Woosung didn't want to be rude. As he tried to think of a nice way to say no, Kwok Jung-wook followed his statement up with more offers. We will hire you as a manager at Nuri Finances. If there is anything you want, tell me. Woosung continued to be quiet. When Kwok Jung-wook realized Woosung wasn't interested, he moaned. If you don't accept this offer, I'm going to be in trouble. As a manager, your salary will be $60,000 a year. It's a good position. A yearly salary of $60,000. It was over 3 times his current salary as a new employee at Daesan System. In his previous life, it would have been a chance of a lifetime, but Woosung was different now. I appreciate all you've done for me. Kwok Jung-wook knew what Woosung was going to say next. Stop. Stop. I don't want to hear it. But I don't want to work for someone anymore. That's it. Kwok Jung-wook already knew how Woosung felt. I meant it when I said I appreciate you. Would you reconsider? Sorry, but it's a no. If it would please you, I will make sure my last project is a success. Woosung was firm and Kwok Jung-wook couldn't say another word. They drank their coffee and returned to the office. Another person was waiting for Woosung. Daesan Systems CEO Sun Daesan. As soon as he saw Woosung, he ran up to him and shook his hand. Wow, our company's treasure, Woosung. Woosung hadn't seen him since the job interview. I've been waiting for you for a long time. If you don't have any plans, let's go for a chat after work. There is a lot I want to say to you. Woosung glanced at Yoon Gyewan, who shook his head firmly. Woosung realized what Sun Daesan wanted and replied firmly. I'm not changing my mind on resigning. You shouldn't be so rash about such an important decision. Think carefully. You haven't even worked here for a year. It would look bad on your resume. Do you know how hard it is to find a job nowadays? Sun Daesan tried to convince him, but Woosung wasn't listening. He just refused a much better job offer from Nuri Finances. It didn't make sense to stay at Daesan. I don't plan on getting another job. Sun Daesan continued to hold Woosung's hand and whispered. Then I will promote you. General Manager. There is no way you can refuse such an offer. Woosung found Sun Daesan amusing. Did he even know how much Woosung had accomplished so far? Because if he truly understood, then Sun Daesan's offer would have been different. I'm sorry, but I'm not interested. Woosung continued to refuse. Sun Daesan frowned and let Woosung's hands go. You fixed a few problems and you think you're so great. Do you really think you'll be able to get a better offer than this? Sun Daesan was an idiot. I do know that I am that great. In fact, I'm being humble right now. It seems like it's you who doesn't understand the situation. Sun Daesan reddened brightly. What? I asked General Manager Yoon to explain why I'm resigning. If you understood him, you wouldn't be saying this to me right now. Sun Daesan became furious. Woosung, you are making a huge mistake. I have a meeting with some people from the Korean Software Industry Association next week. If you act this way, I will mention your name to them. He panted as he glared at Woosung. He was now threatening Woosung. Sun Daesan was being unreasonable. Woosung felt ashamed to be an employee of someone like him. Before Woosung could reply, a familiar voice came from behind. Where is that meeting supposed to take place? I will join you to defend Woosung to them. Sun Dae-san recognized the voice immediately. President. What a nice surprise, he put a fake smile on his face and he turned around. Nuri Finance's CEO Na Jae-man. Dae-san was a hired company by Nuri Finances, which meant Na Jae-man had power over Sun Dae-san and his company. Na Jae-man asked Woosung. I heard you're quitting Dae-san. It was now a well-known fact. Woosung confirmed it. Yes, as you can see. Then. Na Jae-man saw this as his chance. Let's go out for dinner. We need to talk. Pardon? Na Jae-man put his hand on Woosung's shoulder. It's a tradition that the CEO of Nuri Finances buy drinks for a deserved employee. This is a very important tradition. But didn't you tell me earlier you will be canceling the contract with Dae-san? When Woosung mentioned their earlier conversation, Sun Dae-san paled. Na Jae-man coughed awkwardly and answered. I think you misunderstood. I meant if you quit Dae-san, then Nuri Finances will have no use of Dae-san. I can't believe you misunderstood me. We definitely need to talk this out. Na Jae-man made it hard for Woosung to refuse. Woosung scratched his head and murmured. Well, since I'm quitting Dae-san, I guess it will lose its contract with Nuri Finances. Oh well. Sun Dae-san looked faint. Woosung followed Na Jae-man out while Yoon Gi-won snorted in his desk. Na Jae-man took Woosung to an expensive Japanese restaurant. Woosung had never been to such an extravagant place. It felt like he was in Japan. All the waiters and waitresses were wearing traditional Japanese outfits. They were also very good looking. As soon as they entered, they were greeted by the manager. There you are. They were immediately taken to a private room. When the door opened, inside was the beautiful Shin Semi. Come in. Woosung looked confused, but all Na Jae-man did was wave him in. Shin Semi looked at Woosung with a smile. Take a seat, please. This restaurant is famous for its kaiseki. I already ordered it. Do you like sushi? Of course. Shin Semi smiled again and ordered more dishes Woosung didn't recognize. A bottle arrived, and Shin Semi offered Woosung a drink. Kaiseki usually starts with a simple fruit drink. The plum wine here is great. Would you like a glass? Woosung took the glass and sipped through the drink in one gulp. It was sweet and bitter at the same time. It burned his throat. It's good. The wine was smooth. After a few more sips, Shin Semi started to ask Woosung various questions. She asked how Woosung felt about Nuri Finances and how he studied big data. As they conversed, Woosung could tell she was interested in him. There was no reason why the chairman's daughter would go this far to meet him. Why was she so interested? Woosung guessed she had another business question for him. He was sure of it, and this was another chance for him to get something out of her. After organizing his thoughts, Woosung stated. I assume you didn't take what I told you earlier seriously. I obviously understand why. Information from your professional research team would sound more trustworthy. Shin Semi paused and looked at Woosung. I am only an employee from a small company. I haven't proven my worth yet. She put down her chopsticks. But I did get your attention. You were probably wondering if I truly am a talent or just a fraud. Shin Semi continued to stare at Woosung silently. I know the reason why you asked me that question was to test me. You had no intention of actually taking my advice seriously. Am I getting this right? Shin Semi nodded. You're getting there. I think you made a big mistake. Shin Semi flinched at the word mistake. Woosung asked. What do you think your mistake was? Shin Semi was not interested in answering Woosung's question. It doesn't matter. You are just trying to rile me up to get something out of me, aren't you? Are you hoping to change my opinion of you? Again, I don't care what mistake you think I made. She looked like an angry cat. Woosung replied with the calmness of a monk. The answer is the validity of my answer. Shin Semite asked with a scoff. You are only 26-year-old new grad from a mediocre university. Your GPA was only 3.0. I will give you that your programming skill is good, but your ability to predict the future of the financial world? I don't think so. Woosung was right. Shin Semai looked at him with scorn. He knew he shouldn't make her angrier. You are absolutely correct. My knowledge in finances cannot be compared to yours or your team. What I meant was my insight. My ability to see the big picture. Shin Semai's eyes widened in surprise. She continued to stare at him. At this point, you are probably thinking if what I'm saying is true. Woosung seemed as if he was reading her mind. He then asked a rhetorical question. How can I prove this? Woosung thought for a second and answered himself. Tomorrow, Wednesday, April 9th, the Liberty Korea Party will win the 18th general election with 153 seats. If my prediction comes true, will you trust me? The experts are expecting the Liberty Korea Party to win. It's a well-known forecast. But no one can guess the exact number of seats. That was true. Shin Semai couldn't deny this. Woosung was becoming more and more interesting to her eyes. How did you come up with the number 153? A magician never reveals all his secrets. We will talk again after the election result comes out. Woosung started to eat. Don't forget. 153 seats. Oh. And the Democratic Party will win 81 seats. The election was tomorrow, so Woosung felt that revealing this information at this point couldn't change the future. The next day was a holiday due to the election. Woosung took his laptop and headed to a cafe to work. Algorithm Trading System. MQTT program. He had to develop both for Jang Guangchul. He wanted to create perfections, so he worked as hard as he could. He couldn't waste even a holiday. He drank few cups of coffee and ate a sandwich. He spent the entire day at the cafe until 6 p.m. The voting process was now complete. Let's see. Woosung connected to the internet and read the election predictions by different media channels. MBD Liberty Korea Party 165. Democratic Party 68. SBC Liberty Korea Party 167. Democratic Party 70. YTT Liberty Korea Party 160. Democratic Party 72. Different experts were close, but no one predicted the exact numbers. They were based on the surveys of the voters, but even then, the numbers varied. This will make my prediction look even more impressive. Woosung turned off the browser and went back to work. He was curious about how Shin Semai would react. The same day, Shin Semai looked out at the Han River from her expensive condo. The prediction numbers can't be trusted. She saw the estimated number of seats based on the voters' survey, but she knew not to trust them. She glanced at the report on the table. Nuri Finance's Research Lab. General Election Prediction. Liberty Korea Party 162. Democratic Party 77. Future Hope Party 20. Democratic Progressive Party 18. Independent Party 32. It was slightly different than Woosung's prediction. We'll see when the actual result comes out. When midnight passed, the final result was released. Liberty Korea Party 153. Democratic Party 81. Woosung was right. Shin Semai stared at the numbers. It was past 1 a.m. She felt impatient but waited until the morning to make the call. BZZZ. BZZZ. Woosung's phone vibrated. He checked the caller ID and didn't answer. He remembered how she stared at him when he entered the CEO's office for a meeting. This was payback. The phone vibrated again but Woosung didn't answer. Yoon Gwan looked at him and asked. What's going on, newbie? Why aren't you answering your phone? Huh, it's nothing. It's not an important call. Are you having a fight with your girlfriend or something? What? It has been so long since he had a girlfriend. Is it Cha Yoriam? I could tell that there was something between you two. Woosung flinched but answered calmly. Ha, ha ha. You're funny. You're good, but not that good. Woosung clearly looked awkward, but Yoon Gwan let it go. Really? Alright. Well, let's get to work. Let's work hard. Park Junwoo and Kim Yonggun were focused in front of their computers. Woosung sat down as well, and when he was about to start, Kwak Jungwook hurried in. Woosung. You're here. Phew, come with me quick, we need to go to the CEO's room. Me? Woosung asked innocently as Kwak Jungwook begged. Please. I'm going to be in trouble. We need to go now. Woosung decided to follow him. In the room wasn't Na Jae-man but Shin Semi. How did you know? She asked before Woosung took a seat. Woosung shrugged and answered. I told you, insight. This is not a joke. If you continue to give me a bogus answer, this meeting is going to be useless. Woosung had already thought of a plausible answer. Big data. I used my specialty. That's all. Explain. Shin Semi bought his excuses and nodded. I would like to ask you something in return. Shin Semi nodded again. Ask away. She felt like he earned the right. I would like to know about the secrets of the heirs to Daeyoung Group. What? I would even accept any gossips. Do they drink too much? Drugs? This was such an unexpected question. Shin Semi looked at him curiously. She expected him to ask for money. But this? Shin Semi was confused. Why do you need to know that? Did you get a deal from the media or something? Huh, no. It's Choi Gichul. Woosung needed to gather information on him. Woosung paused before answering. I'm just curious. I am interested in a lot of different things. It doesn't have to be an accurate fact. Anything you heard about them would be fine, but they have to be things I don't already know. Every piece of information counted. I won't release it to the media. I'm just curious about the rich people's world. Woosung tried hard to convince her. Collecting data on everything and everyone is my hobby. Well, I guess I know a few things. Shin Semi was finally convinced. Based on Woosung's research, Shin Semi's father, Shin Yongwon, has a brother. The said brother's son was married to the second daughter of Kyongsung newspaper's CEO. Daeyoung Group CEO Choi Gunwon's sister was married to Kyongsung newspaper's CEO Song Jong-in's brother. Rich people married rich people. Shin Semi was also part of this world. More than anyone in this world whom Woosung knows, she's the best person he knows when it comes to this kind of info gathering. Perfect. Then I'll start talking first. Shin Semi nodded, and Woosung gave her the answer he prepared. Google Trend. Web crawling. Internet bot systemically browsing the World Wide Web for a defined purpose. Previous election result and the predictions. Woosung stated he analyzed these data through this method. He, of course, didn't actually do it, but this was his explanation for her. Shin Semi didn't ask any questions and just listened. It took Woosung 30 minutes to give an explanation. Shin Semi nodded in response. It seemed like she believed him. She was smiling after all. That's it. Shin Semi closed her eyes. She was processing what Woosung said in her mind. After a few minutes, she opened her eyes. Then it's my turn. Listen. She sighed. First, the firstborn Choi Taemin is dating a celebrity. Even though he's already married? Marriage to rich people are just a business. Woosung nodded. He already guessed this. All right. Continue please. Shin Semi continued to tell Woosung what she knew. Some things were useless, but some were exactly what Woosung needed to know. Choi Gichul. Shin Semi called him a snake, but she explained that when he's drunk, he changed. He became violent. He was known to throw things and beat people when he became intoxicated. This happened many times, but it was kept from the public by his father. Daeyoung Group's CEO Choi Gun-won. He was also violent and abusive to his children. However, he also couldn't let his children be publicly humiliated, so he made sure that none of the press or media ever mentioned Choi Gichul's mishaps. When Woosung returned home that day, he couldn't stop thinking about the information Shin Semi provided. Choi Gichul, alcohol, Choi Gun-won, Daeyoung. Woosung kept murmuring over and over again. He also over the Excel file of future events he created. Most were intended to be used to make money and the rest were about Choi Gichul. He wrote down every event he could think of that involved Choi Gichul. The day he received a business award, when he attended a baseball game, when he approached Woosung to work for Bitmain, and so many more. Also on April 28, 2008. Woosung remembered the news involving Daeyoung's CEO Choi Gun-won assaulting bartenders on behalf of Choi Gichul. This would happen very soon. Choi Gichul was annoyed. His oldest brother Choi Taemin was about to win another award on his mobile business. The brothers in his family hated each other. Choi Taemin's success was Choi Gichul's failure. This was what Choi Gun-won always said. Choi Gichul was in the car fuming. When his driver stopped the car at the red light, he screamed. "Why are you so slow? I'm sorry." Choi Gichul kicked the driver's seat. "Sorry. That's it. I told you I hate it when the car stops, didn't I?" It was better for the driver to apologize when Choi Gichul was this angry. He kept repeating himself, even stuttering on purpose to show him that he was fearful. Sorry. Damn it. I told you to learn the fastest route that doesn't require you to stop. He kicked the seat again. Why are you so stupid? Choi Gichul kicked the chair with every word. The driver moaned to every kick, again on purpose to please Choi Gichul. Not too loud, but just enough. The light turned green. I'm sorry. The light changed. The driver drove. Not too fast, but not too slow. He had to keep a perfect speed that kept Choi Gichul comfortable. He sweated visibly as he drove. Earnings surprise. It occurred when a company's reported profit was better than what was initially expected. Choi Taemin's mobile company had an earnings surprise this quarter. This should have been a happy day. Choi Gun-won gathered his children around and informed them of the importance of being innovative. When the family meeting was over and Choi Gun-won left, the oldest son Choi Taemin stopped Choi Gichul. Don't be such a baby. Be a man. Choi Gichul couldn't answer right away. When they were young, Choi Taemin was often violent with Choi Gichul. It was not a normal childhood and he still tensed when Choi Taemin was around. Choi Taemin frowned when Choi Gichul didn't answer. He said his brother's name menacingly. Choi Gichul. Choi Gichul recovered and replied. Yes, sir. Choi Taemin tapped his brother's shoulder and left. Choi Gichul bowed to the future CEO of the family business. A bottle of Royal Salute was half empty, but Woosung still felt wide awake, unlike Park Jong-hyun who was asleep on the sofa. Woosung kept rubbing his glass and murmured. He'll come. He won't come. He'll come. He won't come. Woosung organized his plan for the night in his mind and continued to murmur. There was no CCTV in the hallway or any of the private rooms in this bar. Unless he makes a mistake, Woosung knew he could come and go without leaving any evidence of him being there. Drink, I love it, more, Park Jong-yun talked in his sleep but Woosung didn't pay attention. He was waiting. He was focused on any noises outside the room. He knew this was the day it happened, but Woosung wasn't sure if this was the right bar. The bar's name was the Royal, and Woosung knew this was the place Choi Gichul frequented. However, this didn't mean he would be here today. He just had to trust the information he gathered. He prayed his guess was right. Please come. I will make your life a living hell. Woosung heard a commotion. No. What's going on? Crash. Woosung changed into the waiter's uniform and ran out of the room towards the noise. It was easy to find him. Choi Gichul was so drunk his eyes looked dead. He was holding a broken bottle like a knife. Pigs. Do you know who I am? Choi Gichul swung the sharp bottle. The people surrounding him stepped back. Please sir, you need to stop. You're going to hurt someone. Call someone for help. The bartenders and the waiters were all big men, but they couldn't touch Choi Gichul. He was the son of Daeyoung Group CEO. They were not allowed to touch him. Choi Gichul threw a bottle at a waiter. The young man dodged but the bottle hit the wall and shattered all over the pavement. A woman screamed from behind Choi Gichul. In the room were his friends who were assaulting a waitress. Gichul has gone crazy today. This is fun. His friends were just like him. They sneered and didn't make any effort to stop him. They seemed to be enjoying the situation. One of the concerned waiters finally protested to the manager. We need to do something. This is going to end badly. Damn it. There is nothing I can do. Don't you know as soon as we try to stop him, we are all dead. Should I try to grab the bottle from him? Look at him. He's crazy. He'll kill you if you get close. Then all we can do is wait for the director. They were frightened, but nothing could be done. Then a man in a waiter's uniform came up to Choi Gichul and punched him in the face. It was a solid punch. Choi Gichul collapsed as he dropped the bottle. The man didn't stop there. He body-slammed Choi Gichul and continued to punch him. Choi Gichul started to vomit everywhere. While he laid on the floor in pain, the man whispered to him. This is only the beginning, you bastard. The others stared in shock. Woosung looked around to see if someone was going to stop him, but no one did. He tried to explain. I'm sorry, but I couldn't just watch him hurt my co-workers. But this was unnecessary. Sorry. I felt like it's better to stop him as quickly as possible. Damn it. Well, it's too late now. Go back to your spot and I'll call for you later. Woosung bowed. Yes, sir. By the way, nice punches. Let me know if you are interested in the bouncer position. Woosung nodded and went back to his room without another word. He sighed and changed back to his clothes. He called for a waiter and paid the bill. The bar was still noisy with excitement. No one paid attention to Woosung and Park Jong-yun leaving the bar. Woosung returned home and exhaled. He still felt jittery. After a few minutes of silence, he finally laughed. Ha 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 ha. It felt so great. He beat up Choi Gichul pretty badly. He thought he even saw a few teeth fall out. He used all his strength for every punch. He didn't care if he killed Choi Gichul. I wonder if it will be in the news tomorrow. Woosung knew what would happen next. Choi Gunwon would bring his muscles to the bar and scream for vengeance. He would ask for the one responsible for assaulting his son but he would never find out. Woosung couldn't stop grinning. At the same time, 7 black sedans arrived at the Royal. Several big-muscled men came out and lined up. A middle-aged man came out after them and walked up to the bar. This is the place. Yes, President. Get ready. The men bowed and entered the bar. The middle-aged man walked in with crooked confidence as if he owned the place. It was Choi Gun-won, Choi Gichel's father. Things happened in passing. The men gathered the waiters, bartenders, and the manager. The muscled bodyguards then brought them down on their knees in front of Choi Gun-won. The CEO asked, "Who was the one that hit my son?" The place became dead silent. No one answered, no one knew who the man in the waiter's uniform was. After a few minutes, Choi Gun-won exhaled. "Do it." Suddenly, the men who came in with Choi Gun-won grabbed the workers. They handed him a baseball bat, and he started to beat the waiters with it. Daeyoung Group's CEO Choi Gun-won. Here, he looked like the head of a mob. On the way to his work the next day, Woosung still couldn't stop smiling. He watched the news that morning, but there was nothing on what happened last night. I knew it. Last night, Woosung recorded everything with a hidden camera. He sent the footage to multiple news channels, but no one reported it. This was the power of Daeyoung. The footage showed his face, yet no one had the guts to report it. Woosung was disappointed, but this was expected. He still felt great about his accomplishment last night. He kept clenching his fists. He could still feel the punches. It was great. Woosung knew some people would think he should be a bigger man and forgive Choi Gichel, but he could never let it go. He would get his revenge. I can upload it on SNS. Woosung could count on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Even at work, Woosung couldn't help but smile. Yoon Gi-won saw this and asked, "What's going on? Are you that happy about quitting this job?" "Ha ha ha ha. It's a great life. It's spring. Spring's coming." Yoon Gi-won couldn't understand Woosung. "Are you going crazy?" No one seemed to know why Woosung was in such a great mood. Kim Yong-gun murmured nearby. "Spring, maybe he got a girlfriend. I asked him last week and he said no." "Then maybe." "Maybe what?" "He has been to the CEO's room a few times now. That must mean he was offered something big." Yoon Gi-won shook his head. What could convince Woosung to stay? "I can't think of anything." Woosung approached the two and smiled. "Ha ha 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 ha. Stop gossiping about me and let's go out for a break. I'll buy you guys coffee." Woosung laughed with tremendous glee. They chatted over a cup of coffee. Yoon Gi-won told Woosung, "I took care of your resignation paper. President's son was reprimanded by Nuri Finances regarding his behavior towards you, so he won't cause any more problems." Park Jun-woo took a sip of his iced coffee and spoke out of melancholy. "So you only have a month left with us." Kim Yong-gun sighed as well. We still have so much more to learn from you, Woosung." Woosung stopped smiling and replied seriously. "All of you are ready to be on your own. From now on, you need to study by yourselves to improve. Learning should never stop for any of us. I believe in you. You will succeed wherever you go." Park Jun-woo looked like he wanted to ask a question. Woosung knew what it was, so he answered right away. "Yes, you can become a Microsoft MVP too, but as I said before, it will take an incredible effort. You need to be desperate enough. You need to work like your life depends on it." Everyone listened intensely. "You can't do anything half-assed. What you think of your effort doesn't matter. Your work needs to show it." Park Jun-woo and Kim Yong-gun started to pale. Did Woosung mean they needed to work even harder than now? Woosung said no. "Haha, that's not what I meant. You are working hard enough right now, but you need to keep it up until you complete your goals." Park Jun-woo and Kim Yong-gun sighed. "If you do, you will both be able to join me on my project for Jang Guangchul. Same team." They all felt strongly about it. This was what they dreamt of. Woosung continued. "From now on, you two are 100% responsible for the consulting project. I will be focusing on the algorithm trading system. I will be testing the beta version on the HTS and make more improvements before handing it to Jang Guangchul. The team members were all silent as they listened. It was clear that now, Woosung was the leader of this group. When that's done, you need to join me, General Manager Yoon. By that time, if you two feel the same way, Manager Park and Assistant Manager Kim, you can quit and join me as well. Woosung was telling them they were ready. Park Junwoo bit his lips and gave out a defeated sigh. He worked tirelessly, and it was all worth it. Kim Yong-gun felt the same way. He felt incredibly proud. I would be honored to team up with you all. Kim Yong-gun smiled and joked. Huh, so does that mean we should now call you President Kang? Everyone laughed, and Woosung shook his head emphatically. The future was coming. The next day, Yoon Gi-won asked Woosung, who was humming happily. President Kang, you are humming. What is making you so happy? Huh, this CEO is always happy. Yoon Gi-won snorted. What? I hope you are ready for the day's work today. Ha ha ha, you're funny. So you want to be called the president? Woosung grinned and answered. Huh, just kidding. You started it. They joked around like friends. President Kang, I'm ready. Should we start the day? Kim Yong-gun joined in with a smile. Huh, you're such a good employee. Let's check our work one more time before we start. Woosung smiled and answered. Kim Yong-gun bowed. Yes, sir. Park Junwoo added seriously. Well then, we'll do a final test before the distribution. Before the market opened, Jang Guangchul murmured his routine chant. Afterward, he clicked the HTS window icon. An update automatically started. HTS version 1.1.2.57. Winning stocks recommendation function beta ver added. List of future winning stocks provided. Please use at your own risk. Please read all the details before use. Various bugs have also been fixed. Winning stocks recommendation. Woosung already told him of it. It would be tested on the HTS, and an improved version would be included in the algorithm trading system Woosung was developing for him. This was a beta version. Woosung said that based on his calculation, the recommendation list has a 54% chance of success. When Jang Guangchul clicked the new icon, a list of stocks came up. It also included when and how much each stock would go up. Every stock had predicted a minimum increase of 10%. If one invested $10,000, they would quickly make $1,000. He said that if I invest too much money at a time, it can change the final outcome. So I should start with just $10,000. Jang Guangchul started buying $10,000 each of recommended stocks. Afterward, he started to do what he did best, scalping. Title: What a garbage function. Message: Recommendation. You mean for failure? I bought the recommended stocks today and lost everything. Shouldn't Nuri Finances pay for my losses? Title: Bogus recommendation system. Message: I had my doubts but still tried it and I was right. Don't trust this function. I lost a lot of money today. Title: Nuri Finances needs to read this message. Message: Are you kidding me? I joined your system because I heard good things about it, but this is stupid. Someone needs to pay for this idiotic new function. Kwon Tae-jian grinned as he read the complaints. Recently, Woosung was the star of the company, but the failure of this new function would be his ruin. Kwon Tae-jian asked Oh Joo-hun. What do you think? Will this recommendation function work out in the end? I didn't get a chance to have a close look at it, so I don't know. However, knowing Woosung, I bet it'll be a success. Kwon Tae-jian frowned. Why would you defend our rival company? Sir, I came here to work and be productive, not to bash anyone. Kwon Tae-jian replied grudgingly. Fine, fine. Kwon Taejian stopped asking questions and continued to read more complaints. Na Jae-man was on his way to the CEO's meeting. His face was pale. His recent performance was barely on par with his previous month. Nuri Finances reached the number 2 position in Korea but went back down to the 3rd place. Based on how bad it was doing now, it was very possible that it may drop to the 4th place in the near future. As expected, Na Jae-man was reprimanded for the company's lack of improvement. When the meeting ended and Na Jae-man walked out, Park Jae-won followed him. "President Na, are you okay? Don't be so down. Everyone has bad days. You must be happy. You did well this time. Ha ha ha, it's true. I will buy you a drink, so feel better." Nothing could make Na Jae-man feel better. He didn't know if his company would do better in the future. Park Jae-won put his hand on Na Jae-man's shoulder. "Let's go. We need to go for a drink." Before they exited the building, someone hurried to Na Jae-man. "President Na, the advisor would like to see you." Na Jae-man could guess which advisor asked for him. He turned around and followed the messenger. Shin Semi asked Na Jae-man as soon as he entered the room. "Is this Woosung's project?" Na Jae-man nodded. "Do you know which algorithm is being used to make the predictions?" "It analyzes the pattern of the winning stocks from last 5 years. It then recommends any current stocks that follow a similar pattern. That explanation is an easy version. Do you know the details?" He didn't. He was the CEO, not a developer. "I don't know the specifics. This is only a beta version. When its trial ends next week, we are going to get rid of it." "You won't keep it?" "We have received a lot of complaints regarding this new function. I believe it is the reason why our performance went down this period. Of course, we should remove it. Do you have any solid evidence this function is the reason for your performance decline?" Na Jae-man hesitated. He didn't have clear proof. It was just a guess. The only thing he had was the complaints. "We have had an increase in negative VOC about this function." Na Jae-man answered cautiously. Shin Semi looked at him for a further explanation. He continued quickly. "It was a controversial idea even before it was released. What if the recommendation caused users to lose money and they ask for compensation? In fact, this is exactly what's happening now. We decided to give it a try because we trusted Woosung Kang, but it was a mistake. We can't keep it." Shin Semi asked. "You're assuming the increase in VOC equals an increase in the number of users leaving our website. Are you sure? Because recently I heard the number 1 reason for an increase in the number of new users is this new recommendation function." Na Jae-man didn't know what to say. Shin Semi considered probing further, but it was not wise to upset a CEO. "Alright. By the way." Shin Semi bit her lip. She felt like this function needed to stay. She didn't know why, but she knew this function was crucial. "When does the trial end?" "At the end of May. It coincides with when Woosung is planned to leave Daesan. There is a rumor this new function is his way of telling us off." Shin Semi answered emphatically. "There is no way Woosung would do something like that." Na Jae-man knew what Shin Semi wanted to hear. He offered. "I will do whatever you ask me to do. Let's just keep an eye on it till the end of May. There must be a reason why Woosung set its trial end date till that time." "Alright." Na Jae-man left and Shin Semi's secretary walked in. "Here is the information you asked for." "Okay." Name, Woosung Kang. Age, 26. Address, XXX Hwikyeongdong, Dongdae Gate, Seoul. GPA, 3.02. Friends. Yoon Chanjong, Woosung's college friend. Helped Woosung academically. Currently working at Daeyoung System. Has a good reputation. Park Jong-yun, Woosung's college friend. Currently unemployed. Known to be annoying. Cha Yoriam, Woosung's college girlfriend and first love. Currently working at Daeyong System. Shin Semi stared at Cha Yoriam's name. Kwak Jungwook visited Woosung to discuss the recent increase in the customer complaints. Woosung read the reviews himself. There were many, and all of them were about his recommendation function. Some even attacked Woosung directly. Woosung smiled. Yoon Gi-won asked with a worried expression. Do you think this is okay? As manager Kwak said, many users are unsubscribing. There are so many complaints about it. Angry users are always louder than the happy ones. It's their way of venting out. But what about losing customers? There is an obvious reason for it. There are many other companies copying our speed trading and HTS system. This means many customers will choose our competitions over us. Yoon Gi-won nodded. I guess. What about the rumor you created a bad program on purpose? Your reputation means everything in this field. Woosung wasn't worried. You saw the data result. Our recommendation has a 55% success rate as we claimed. That means there are 55% of users who made money using our system. Good Vox will start rolling in. I know what the data says, but the positive reviews need to start right away. If we don't, then the headquarter will get rid of the program. If you are that worried, I can do something about it. Really? What? Easy. I can change the parameters to decrease the number of recommendation items. This will increase the success rate, but only for a little while. What kind of increase? At least 5%. But like I said, it will go down back to normal in time. I guess it wouldn't matter though. We'll be long gone by then. Woosung murmured as he turned on the Visual Studio. At the same time, on the website Darth Insider, reviews on Nuri Finances started to appear. I made a lot of money by following its recommendation. Nuri Finances HTS. It's awesome. I did very well recently using its new recommendation function. Everyone needs to go try it out. You can't lose with this program. Some were still negative reviews, but it was enough to pique many people's interest. Soon, Nuri Finances HTS became a popular search term online. Nuri Finances CEO room. Woosung entered and saw both familiar and unfamiliar faces. Woosung greeted everyone and sat down. Na J-Man explained. We asked you to come because we have a few questions about the newly added recommendation function. Then he introduced everyone to Woosung. Risk Management Team. Product Development Team. Smart Finances Team. IT Support Team. These were the people running this company. Everyone looked at Woosung with their gazes piercing through him. The head of the Risk Management Team asked first. I am the chief of the Risk Management Team. The main reason why we called for this meeting is because of all the negative Vox. I don't know if you read them, but we received 121 yesterday. Woosung already heard this from Kwak Jungwook. I am aware of it. And many customers are unsubscribing from our website. I know that too. Then I will be blunt. Can you give us a good reason why we should continue to keep this new function? Woosung didn't falter. He answered confidently. Without new innovative functions like this, Nuri Finances will not be able to grow. The chiefs looked at each other. Won't grow, don't you think you are being too dramatic? Consider this a step back to achieve 2 steps forward. Na J-Man looked at Woosung with interest. Look at this guy. Others looked at Woosung similarly. Jo Young-suk asked Woosung. Many of us disagree with you. You'll have to explain better. Jo Young-suk's tone was kind. It was clear he believed in Woosung. Woosung hesitated for a few seconds before answering. I believe in the data. I don't know what proof you have, but based on my analysis, this will work out soon. Woosung drank a sip of water and continued. Kwok Jung-wook helped with the analysis. In fact, he knows more about it than I do. Would you prefer to call him up for a more detailed explanation? Woosung had already prepared Kwok Jung-wook for this, so he felt confident. Na Jae-man nodded and called for Kwok Jung-wook. Kwok Jung-wook entered the room with timid movements. He seemed nervous as he handed out the reports he and Woosung prepared together. Before this meeting, Woosung told Kwok Jung-wook that this was going to be his chance to shine. Woosung would leave soon anyway, so he wanted Kwok Jung-wook to get all the credit. Kwok Jung-wook started. If you see the first page, you can see the reasons the new users provided for subscribing to our system. It was the first time he ever did a presentation in front of such high-ranking members. He stuttered, but he managed to regain his composure when Woosung gave him a reassigning look. Advantages of the HTS. Speed trading. Stable HTS. Winning stock recommendation function. As you can see, the new recommendation function is the third most popular reason to attract new customers. This means many users find the recommendations helpful. So why do you think most VOCs are negative? As he continued, Kwok Jung-wook managed to his confidence in himself. It's simple. Those who are making money from this system want to keep it to themselves. Let's take a look at the data. Kwok Jung-wook turned to the next page. This shows how well our recommended stocks did last 2 weeks. So far, we recommended 41 stocks, and 23 of them soared over 10% each. Our current success rate is 58%. The chief of the risk management team asked. But what about the other 18 stocks? How did they do? The complaints must be from those who bought those stocks. Have a look. Minus 5.2%. An average of 5.2% loss was seen among those stocks. Our system works as we planned. It has over 50% chance of success. So why are we getting so many complaints? No one could answer. Kwok Jung-wook felt powerful as he looked around the room. He looked at Woosung with a strong hint of appreciation. Na Jae-man asked the chief of risk management team. What do you think? My guess would be that those customers who lost money left bad reviews before they unsubscribed. Kwok Jung-wook continued his presentation. If you look at the next page, you can see that so far there are 1987 users who lost money from our recommendations. It's less than 2,000 people. Even if all of them cancelled their subscriptions, it wouldn't be enough to affect Nuri Finance's overall performance. Kwok Jung-wook added confidently. These are raw data that haven't been sent to anyone yet. It's no wonder many people believe the new function to be the reason for the decrease in our performance. Kwok Jung-wook stood tall and continued. I will now explain why the company's performance declined. Please have a look at page 4. Woosung looked at Kwok Jung-wook like a proud mare of a galloping stallion. Others also looked at him with the purest form of admiration. Na Jae-man said to Kwok Jung-wook. I can see how hard you worked on this, Manager Kwok. I never realized before how talented you are. After the presentation, Woosung and Kwok Jung-wook headed to IDC, Internet Data Center, the repository that safely houses computing facilities such as servers, in Mokdong. Kwok Jung-wook thanked Woosung. Thank you so much. You made me look really good in front of my boss today. No problem. You have helped me out a lot over the last few months. This is nothing. They entered the IDC after signing in. No, I owe you a big one. I will buy you lunch sometime. Alright. As I said before, the success rate of this function will decrease over time. You need to remember this. Kwok Jung-wook nodded and repeated what Woosung told him before. As the number of users increases, the number of transactions will increase as well. This will cause the algorithm to be less profitable. Exactly, and after I leave, if you need anything, you can talk to Manager Park. Kwok Jung-wook nodded and looked at Woosung respectfully. I understand. Without you, I can see a difficult time ahead of our company. Manager Park will have a lot of work to do to fill your shoes. I know, but he'll do just fine. I must admit, I am starting to get worried about him. I think he has been working late nights every day for a while now. One could visibly see that Park Jun-woo lost a lot of weight recently. I noticed too. I hope he's okay. Woosung nodded. Kwak Jung-wook hesitated before asking. Can I watch you uploading the server on DMA? Of course. I can't show you the insider codes but otherwise, you can watch the rest. Woosung sat down in front of one of the computers inside IDC. He started to type fast. It wasn't just Woosung in the room. Many developers were there working too. So I know for sure the beta version of this algorithm works. I wonder how well the alpha version would perform. Woosung smiled as he worked. He had a DMA circuit from Shin Semi. It could only be used from Mokdong IDC. It was an inconvenience, but it was all worth it. Woosung tested it and found it was up to 0.004 seconds faster. Let's try it with just $50,000. If it works well, I will add the other $70,000 and any more money I make from now on. Haha. If he invested everything using the algorithm trading, Woosung expected a huge return. $10 million. Maybe even more. Woosung focused and started the alpha version of his algorithm trading system. Email protected, #start-autotrading.sh. Info, auto trading system starting. Info, network status check, complete. When he executed the start script, the program began. Nuri Finance's HTS became the most popular online search term within a few days. 1. Nuri Finance's HTS. 2. Winning stocks recommendation. 3. Nuri Finance's subscription. 4. Nuri Finance's group. It was the best PR any company could ask for, and it was being done for free. The effect was immediate too. The increase in the number of new users came as quick as thunder. Chairman Shin Yong-won called for Na Jae-man. President Na, you did great. It is all thanks to my employees. Did you say his name was Woosung Kang? Yes, sir. And he refused the job offer from Nuri Finances? He said he doesn't want to work for anyone. I think he must be planning to create his own company. Shin Yong-won rubbed his chin. Keep an eye on him and when you get a chance, ask him again. You and I both know how hard it is to survive in this field. I will make sure he fails and that will be our chance. Na Jae-man shivered. He understood what Shin Yong-won meant to do. Na Jae-man didn't agree with his intentions but nodded. He had no choice. Yes, sir. Anyway, that's that. Now, how well do you think Nuri Finances will do this period? If this continues, we will become number 1 within 1 month. Huh, that good? So we really need him then. I will have to make it happen. Na Jae-man nodded again and Shin Yong-won smiled. 50,000.00. 50,400.00. 50,001.00. 55,109.00. 53,855.00. 54,102.10. The number went up and down, but there was a clear pattern. It was going up. Woosung frequently checked his account and there was no doubt it was working. Yes. Woosung exclaimed. It has been 2 weeks since he started using his algorithm trading system from Nuri Finance's IDC. In 2 weeks, he made about $4,000. It was close to a 10% return. If this trend continued, he could make over $100,000 in 3 months. If he invested even more money. Woosung grinned. And then there is the financial crisis. September 12th was a Friday. Lehman Brothers will file for bankruptcy on September 13th, which will be Saturday. By September 16, the majority of the stocks will drop significantly. If he purchased out options on September 12, by September 16 their values will soar. It could be up to 500 times increase. With $1 million, he could make up to $500 million. What if he invested not only in the Korean stock market but also the international markets? What if he got involved in US Dow Jones? Woosung let out a large grin. What an investment. 100% success rate. Knowing the future meant Woosung couldn't lose. May 30th. It was the last day of work for Woosung. In his previous life, Woosung was fired from his job. It was different this time. In fact, Woosung was called up by the CEO today to receive a recognition award for his good work. He also received a golden key as a reward. Na Jae-man smiled at Woosung. I will miss you. The company will definitely miss you too. You have other good employees here. The company will do great. But you are the best. As you saw recently, Kwak Jung-wook is great too. Woosung again mentioned Kwak Jung-wook, but Na Jae-man shook his head. But not as good as you. You are the one who put our company at the top. Woosung smiled awkwardly. Na Jae-man continued quickly. Now what's your plan for the future? Woosung felt a sense of danger. He felt like he was being threatened. He realized he couldn't be totally honest with this man. Woosung trusted his gut feeling. I plan to continue with my studies and do some random works. It's humbling to hear that someone like you still feel like you need to continue to learn. It's not that. This field is very competitive and so you can never be lazy. Na Jae-man was still curious. He kept asking more questions. I heard you are making good use of the DMA. I made sure you have permanent access to it.